It's time now for an in-depth look at the global markets this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Kiwoom Securities. Mr. Yu, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for having me today.
So we just heard that the U.S. Decision on auto tariffs is being put off by 6 months for several countries. That helped send Wall Street higher overnight. The Dow, the S&P up about 0.5%. Where are the global markets this afternoon?
Yes, in general, global market seems to be fairly stable, especially with the U.S. market recovering yesterday. At the beginning, the China and U.S. economic numbers came out, which was quite soft relative to the expectations. And because of that, market started with a very weak trend, but was able to recover at the end of the market. U.S. industrial productions came in at So China's industrial production came in at 5.4% growth. Retail sales were up about 7.2%. Fixed asset investment rose 6.1%, but all came in below expectations. Also, the U.S. retail sales came in, which actually fell 0.2% month on month, where expectation was 0.2% growth. So this was coming in with a post-tariff hike numbers. So people were quite concerned, but nevertheless, because of these weak numbers, people are expecting that the policy easing from the both sides of the economies will be quite significant. So there's a possibility of rate cut from the both countries, as well as additional fiscal expansion. And because of that expectations, market was able to recover, where U.S. market rose 0.58% yesterday for the S&P, and 1.13% rise for Nasdaq.
Well, here in Korea, we saw the Kospi start to slide pretty much just after today's opening, ending up far lower than it started out. What happened there?
Right. As you said, the Korean market closed with Kospi going down 1.2%, and the Nasdaq went down 1.65%. Clearly, the economic weakness that we saw from the both sides of U.S. and China are putting pressure on the Korean market. And even though there was a news about the no tariff on cars for Korea for the next 6 months, this was definitely positive news. But still, most of the other sectors were going down. Main reason for that is because of continuation of the trade war can have negative impact on Korea. People are concerned about that, as well as economic growth numbers are not really coming through at this point in time. Also, there is a possibility of rate cut that's happening in the future. So people are selling equities and buying bonds. Even the foreign investors were actually selling quite significant amount of Korean equity of 300 billion won worth of Kospi and 150 billion won worth of Nasdaq. So clearly, the currency are moving into 1190 territories, and most of the people are expecting that might go up to 1200. So on that trend, foreign investors are selling the Korean market, as well as a concern about the economic growth that is all affecting negatively on Kospi trend today.
Right. Well, let's talk about the Huawei issue making headlines today. President Trump has basically banned U.S. companies from using Huawei equipment. So this roller coaster ride goes on between the two powers. How are investors taking this move?
Right. I think it's already as expected. As we know, the trade war or the trade dispute is all about the technology advancement and keeping the intellectual property rights related to all these sectors. And clearly, this Huawei is in front of that. U.S. is focusing about winning the fourth industrial revolution competition with China. So Trump have said that the U.S. will win the 5G investment. It is most important for the factor for the future. That's what Trump and U.S. is saying that. So they want to be the number one in this technology-driven businesses globally. And U.S. is willing to do all means necessary to win that war on technology. U.S. is probably most likely to win that, especially on the tech sector, because the market size of the tech sector is the biggest for U.S., and we estimate that to be more than 50% of the global market. So therefore, such focus by the government, as well as heavy investment made by that sector, we think that U.S. will continue to win in this segmentation. We believe that because of that, U.S. Nasdaq market will continue to go up in the future. Of course, protectionism will put pressure on equity market in general, but key factor level here is that how much investments are made on this sector, particularly related to the 5Gs and fourth industrial revolutions. And because of the heavy investment that's made, both countries, China and U.S., the market size will continue to grow. And therefore, the market or the sector index should be going up accordingly.
Got it. All right, Mr. Yu, that's where we're going to have to leave it today. Thanks so much for coming on, as always.
Thank you very much.